Good morning, good evening, good night, wherever it may be, wherever you are in this world or this universe, wherever you may end up being in time. Welcome back to the build showcases. These don't happen very often. Honestly, I kind of wish they happened more often. Anyway, today we're back to engineer again. Again, I should say it's been 8 weeks. Doesn't feel like it. God, yeah, I don't do these often enough. That's because I don't have enough builds to do them that often. So you know, you're lucky you're getting any of these at all. That's not true. But so my opinions on the smart rifle have been out there for a while now, and they're not good. But I might be having a slight change of heart. Something I'm not having a change of heart on though is Executioner, because I always thought it was good, and that's what this is about today. Incendiary Executioner. Look at this, man. Look at this. Isn't that the coolest fucking dwarf you've ever seen? I would kiss that guy. I would shower him with love and gifts and presents. I would use this build. Anyway, so it's all about Executioner. I should note that this build actually works very well, arguably even better with a volatile impact reactor shard diffractor build. I've already done a build that uses that overclock, so I'm going to refrain from doing that today, even though I do recommend it. I recommend it alongside this version of the smart rifle, but I'm not going to be using that today. I'm going to be using, well, you could use the PGL, you could. The only problem with that is, and I'll explain the problem once we get to sort of certain other points about the build. So we're going to be using the breach cutter though with Inferno, but let's start with the smart rifle itself. So I don't think execution necessarily preys on what the smart rifle is good at. It's actually quite difficult to use because of the way the smart rifle is. You often have to curve the bullets to make sure they actually hit the weak point. And because of the way we want to use Executioner, we're using macro lens, which makes it harder to bend our shots without losing the lock. It's still worth using macro lens despite this, and you'll hopefully see why. You might not see why, but you'll see the result of me using this build as hopefully it goes well, and therefore you understand why we use macro lens. It works better for Executioner because Executioner is for single target damage. Therefore, we want a very small lens, so it's much easier to only focus on one enemy. But yeah, obviously we have a tighter lock-on field as well, but we want to hit weak points as often as possible. And it does become very difficult with enemies like Wardens. It becomes not much of an issue later down the line. I'd say the only enemies where it really is difficult to hit the weak points consistently is Wardens and probably Grabbers, Bacteria Grabbers. Apart from that, you're actually pretty safe. It's not that hard, it's just with a little bit of practice. Actually, I should point out, if anyone knows like a surefire way to always hit Warden weak points with the lock-on, by the way, that's the important part. Alright, obviously you can hip fire if you want, but we're not going to get the Executioner bonus. If anyone knows an easy way to hit Warden weak points while looking on, you know, go ahead, tell us. I do think, right, so as good as a smart rifle might be, you know, I haven't seen it as a good weapon for a long time, but my opinion is starting to sway somewhat. I think Executioner, as good as it is, it's also missing something which I think is that it should lock onto weak points directly, considering that's the whole point of Executioner. And I'm going to explain Executioner now. Significant weak point damage increase when all locks are engaged. This is a 50% increase, which doesn't sound huge, but it's actually quite a bit for the damage per bullet that we get on the smart rifle. And when you accompany that with the damage bonuses that we can incur from other sources, including on the smart rifle itself. So, tier 1, we take ammo. Why do we take ammo? Well, actually, I would say this might be a bit of a choice. I would say you're much more valid in taking damage if you use the shard diffractor with this, because then you have a significant ammo pool on your secondary to play with. When you're using the breach cutter, you have a very limited number of shots. And I think limiting your number of shots on your what is supposed to be your high ammo weapon is unwise. So that's why we take ammo. Either way, it's still quite strong. I think you do net more total damage if you take ammo though. So There's also that argument. And of course, I explained macro lens. Tier 3 is very important. You're never going to want to use smart targeting because you always want to get the maximum number of locks, no matter what. Blow through. The only blow through is odd. I wouldn't say it doesn't complement executioner, and it also would be taking it in place of more damage because we want to go full into damage, and we do that by taking electrochemical rounds, which increases damage by 20% against electrified or burning targets. And when you're an engineer, that's pretty easy to come by. Mainly burning targets, obviously. You can electrocute enemies with one build on the breach cutter, and you can do it with the smart rifle itself, but in this context we're not doing that. We're using fire. That's why it's the incendiary executioner. Tier 4, shutter speed sensor. This is lock-on rate. Now, why do we take this? Well, first of all, it effectively decreases our number of locks that we need to achieve, because instead of 12, which you would get if you took max targets, it's only 8, and we lock on faster as well. And that just means we can get more shots off quickly, increasing our DPS, I think, possibly. It feels better to me. I don't see any reason to take aperture extension. By the way, what the fuck is that word, aperture? I feel like I should know. I'm an English student. Don't remember that. It's not flattering information, as far as I'm concerned. Tier 5 though, so there's multiple options here, but it comes down pretty cleanly to an unstable lock mechanism, which makes us do more damage at full rate of fire. And I think once I explain the reasons for why we take this, it will become very obvious why we take this. The argument for electric generator mod is, of course, electrochemical rounds. If we can electrocute enemies with the smart rifle itself, we can therefore increase the smart rifle's damage with the smart rifle, in the same vein as taking stun on the GK2 with Bullets of Mercy. The reason we don't do that though is because we want our smart rifle built for single target damage. So we need to accommodate for as many threats as we can. And we do that by taking unstable lock mechanism, because it's just a flat damage increase against everything. And that is far more valuable than just using electrocution, which cannot be done to a lot of high value single targets, such as oppressors and most bosses, pretty much all bosses actually. I think Betsy can be electrocuted, but you're not going to be running into Betsy's that often. This is so we can use it on elimination very successfully, and also take down oppressors very easily. And I think it results in more damage anyway than you would get with electric generator mod, because we can get that bonus from electrochemical rounds from the fire anyway that we take with our secondary. So the secondary, in this case, it is the breach cutter. With Inferno. Now, I know there's a pretty strong, I won't say debate, but there's a weird sort of consensus on the breach cutter to me that its best overclock by far is lightweight cases. I don't think I disagree. I just think it's not ruled by it. It seems to be ruled by it in the community's eyes, but that to me is just means all the other overclocks are underrated, because I think most of them are very usable, even roll control. I'm not kidding. But Inferno is probably the second best. In my opinion, it is the best. And why? Well, that's because it can easily kill grunt guards in one shot, and it's the highest damage per shot version of the breach cutter you can get without sacrificing ammo, I think. Obviously, I think, stronger plasma current seems to result in more DPS, but it depends on the targets you're really going against. Inferno actually incurs a damage over time that can affect all enemies. It also seems to do a lot more damage against certain things like Maxera and Spitballers. Overall, I find it to be extremely satisfactory. It is a very solid DPS increase over normal breach cutter at least, and it also allows us to gain those damage bonuses on the smart rifle, so it's definitely worth taking here. But a lot of people probably don't understand what Inferno actually does. So it does say that as a bonus, the extreme eternal heating keeps the targets burning for an extended period. What this actually means in terms of mechanics, and it doesn't actually explain this, I think it should be one of the positive points mentioned in the Inferno sort of, outline, this stuff. In that it actually applies a damage over time effect to every enemy that it touches that very quickly builds up heat over time. This is what allows it to set most things on fire in one pass. In fact, Inferno can set on fire anything that can be set on fire, except robots, in one pass. I should say, except patrol bots. I think it can do everything else. And that would probably be my only problem with Inferno, if it can't set on fire normal turrets, burst and repulsor turrets. But apart from those things, everything that can be set on fire will be set on fire. An oppressor, however, it's not that reliable unless it's standing still. If it's still, or standing still as in, doing its attack. Because it's stationary then. And it's actually, that means the Breach Cutter is more likely to get more contact time with the oppressor, therefore applying more heat, because Inferno also applies heat directly. And this just results in an overall significant DPS gain. And obviously it helps us get our damage bonus from the smart rifle with electrochemical rounds. And this is why we don't take electrocution instead. This is why we don't take stronger plasma current. This is why we don't take the electric mod on the smart rifle. It's for oppressors, actually, and that's it. But the fire feels stronger overall. But you can't electrocute oppressors, so why would we? That's really what it comes down to. Inferno also covers for certain things, like it can very easily one-shot grabbers. It can do pretty much all of a Warden's health. I don't know if it can actually one-shot a Warden, but it can do most of the work. And you can actually reasonably finish the Warden off with hip fire shots from the smart rifle. Either way, you're going to be using your Breach Cutter for setting bigger targets on fire to allow the smart rifle to do more damage, but you're also going to be using it as a key crowd clearing tool, which means you need that extra ammo. That's why we even take the increased magazine size. This one I do think is a choice. I've actually gotten by most of my time using this build by taking projectile prolonged power generation. But when it comes down to what you're really using the Breach Cutter for, you want as much ammo as you can get. So that's why we take that. Tier 3 shouldn't need an explanation. You're going to be running Born ready, so don't worry about that. Quick deploy is amazing anyway. Tier 4 is actually pretty difficult. So armor breaking is useless because Inferno's biggest downside is that it completely tanks the armor breaking. It's almost impossible to break armor with it. We don't need to, but it's still a thing. And therefore increasing it is pretty redundant. It goes from 25% to 75%. 75% armor breaking isn't going to do shit, so don't worry about it. The thing is with stun. Stun does increase the Breach Cutter's contact time with enemies, therefore increasing DPS massively. But one of the most common enemies you're going to be using this against to set them on fire and then switching to the smart rifle is Praetorians. And Praetorians have a stun resistance, which shortens the time that they stun for. And it almost always means that the amount of time they stun for is much less time than their attack, which actually makes things very difficult. Because it means that if you shoot the Breach Cutter at Praetorian while it is doing its spray attack, it will very quickly return to normal function, quicker than it would if you just allowed it to continue its attack. Which presents a very abstract argument for not taking stun. And of course, you would take armor breaking instead. You wouldn't just leave it completely blank. There's no point leaving it blank. Armor breaking is neutral or even possibly positive. But, removing the stun means you can't stun Praetorians. You can't stun them out of their attack. You lose a lot of contact time with smaller enemies, which is especially valuable against Mactera. I'm not actually sure. This is the one thing about this build I'm not 100% on, is whether or not stun is the right choice. So far, it's worked for me. If you can work, but you do have to work around it. That's the only issue, and that's the main argument I would posit. Why maybe you shouldn't take stun. I'd recommend trying it. I don't think I'm going to try it without stun today. I think I'm just going to use it as is. If the first mission goes very well, maybe on the second one, I'll drop stun. In fact, this might be the perfect... Hold on, I'll get to that. Tier 5. Tier 5 is, I'd argue, not much of a choice. Explosive Goodbye, as far as I know, doesn't interact with Inferno in any way, so we just ignore it. Plasma Trail, I noticed a while ago, it seemed to help Inferno, but that might not be true. It will increase your single target DPS, but that's not exactly what we're going for, This is very good against single targets, but that's what our smart rifle's for. We're using this to set things on fire. We want contact time, which is why we take triple split line. We're also using this for crowd clearing. We want to be able to hit more things, especially Actera. Triple split line is the way to go. I think it's a pretty simple argument. I did use this with Plasma Trail before, like a while ago, and I thought, oh, this feels nice. And then you realise that in the context of this build, it's not that efficient. So, the rest of it. Perks. Perks are pretty important. You'll probably be familiar with my standard selection of passives. Heightened senses and dash. On engineer, I always take thorns as well. Vampire is also standard for me. Because I don't see how anyone can undervalue vampire. It seems insignificant, but it really isn't insignificant. But Born Ready, we take Born Ready. It just helps with literally everything. So take it. It's fantastic for the Breach Cutter. The Breach Cutter has a long reload time. Use Born Ready. So everything else isn't particularly relevant, I would say. Mainly the sentries. Sentries you can probably build however you want with this build, I would say. There's no way to make them complement what you've got directly. The only thing I might say is maybe we don't want stun. I don't know. Although stun on the sentries to me is a lot better. That's good for crowd control. The argument on the Breach Culture is a little bit different. Anyway, so that's the turrets. I'll go through the rig quickly. Rig, it's no different to normal. It really doesn't matter. The only thing I would say again is I think this is probably the best tier 4 mod, and I wouldn't recommend ever taking bigger mineral bag. You shouldn't need it. You should want combat utility over bigger mineral bag. But grenade and platform gun is slightly more important. I would say it comes down to a choice. There's a very good chance that the Shredder Grenade is stronger. I think it probably is stronger than all the other options. But we take Proximity Mine because of the one thing that this build lacks, which is the ability to lock down an area. Which is just a result of a lot of the Breach Cutter and Smart Rifle strengths, their weaknesses, I suppose. So we take Proximity Mines. Proximity Mines also provide decent DPS against larger targets, especially Praetorians, and bosses. But really it's for locking down areas. Breach Cutter is good at close range, but Proximity Mine is good at stopping enemies from ever getting to us in the first place. Overall, if you consider these three parts of this build, I think they all compensate for each other quite well. And the platform gun, extra ammo always feels good, but if you're using Proximity Mines, I always recommend Repellent Additive. It makes them much more usable. And Repellent Additive does always have some bonus side effects. Drawing enemies into a more condensed, compact form always helps with the Breach Cutter, for example. So, Repellent Additive is the way to go. Either way, I wouldn't say I rambled there, but that did go on for quite a while, although I don't think I made any irrelevant points. Pickaxe, do whatever you want. But what I was talking about when this might be an opportunity for me to actually switch from stun to arm breaking is because the first mission I have picked out is actually a Mactera Plague elimination. Why would I do that, you ask? Well, that's a bloody good question. It just strikes me as the right one. We want to show off the single target damage. We want to show off the capabilities of both the Smart Rifle and Inferno Breach Cutter. And Macteras and Dreadnoughts are, in my opinion, perfect targets. I just hope I'm awake enough to deal with this sufficiently. We'll see. I'll see you down on Hoxies.
Let's go!
So, something you probably notice about me, or you will notice about me, is that I always put down the turret as soon as I get out the drop pod, whenever I can. If it's a situation where there's immediately enemies right out the gate, so don't shoot that, I don't care about orders. If it's a situation where there's enemies right out the gate, I'll build the turret in the drop pod. But other than that, just the idea of getting one out as soon as possible is important, in my opinion. This allows you to cover for anything that might be out there. It allows you to find out if there's anything out there, or you might, before you would know otherwise.
My bag is
Such as that grabber. Like, Bosco's going to take care of it. Okay.
attack! Donkey time!
We've got a breeder. Now, actually, breeder is another thing where hitting a breeder's weak point is extremely valuable, but it's actually quite hard to do with executioner. That should get it. I mean, yeah, they got it. Fine.
bloody sod it! And here I just polish my actually doing all right so far. Born ready. Go fetch. Platform created. Stay by my side, Bosco!
Another one.
Yeah! Hey, wait for flare charges. Stick around! One platform, ready to use. Covering fire! Flippin' fun's here! There must be a brute nexus nearby.
Get me better.
Reloading.
Well, just kill it through shift wars, I suppose. Right, this looks like a fucking nightmare. Oh, there's another bomber. The Mactera bombers are common at the best of times. The Mactera plague just
Bosco, mine.
goes right up.
Access provided. My bag is full. Depositing.
I suppose I should point out, it's not a weakness, it's just a given, I suppose. That you're not, obviously you can't set the Dreadnought on fire. You won't be able to set
Come here.
Caretaker on fire. Things like that. It's like, well, that's just a given. But that's part of why we take Unstable Lock Mechanism in Tier 5 for a Smart Rifle. It's just flat damage increase at full locks.
Weapon ready. Stupid stabovine.
Nice. Oh god, there's a lot of them. There's a lot of them.
Shoot it! Got no flares ready. Just call me the weed whacker. Stab aside, stabovine. Fire!
I don't think I've ever had to kill that many Stamperfine in such a short space of time. Oh no, a meteorite. What's the point of that?
Alert.
I guess it will let me fight more
Meteor
normal
fragment
bugs.
incoming.
Oh,
Drop what you're doing and take care not to get caught in any of the impact zones.
more meteor. I'm pretty fucking sick of some meteor. Jesus Christ. That was a bad move. That was a really bad move. Alright, let's see if I can bring this back. Fighting. We're all capable of making mistakes.
Thanks, Bosco! Be gone! Ow!
Just keep in mind, if I do fail this mission, it's
Deep
because of
Rock
that.
seriously need to invest in some better equipment. Loot bug popped. Can do this in my sleep at this point. I need support. Platform! Sentry gun needs assembling. Armed and ready.
Oh, we got a lot of nitro.
Focus fire here. I ordered a resupply.
Supply drop has been ordered and is on the way.
Platform up. One sentry gun.
Bit of a
ready
kill
to
box
rebuild.
going on here.
Sentry off. Time to restock. Stick,
Do something fun.
sticky grenade deployed. Platforms, Dave.
And there you go. Proximity mines versus Mactera. Proximity mines win. You want them to.
What kind of fiendish technology makes Molly constantly get in the way? Platform. I need the mule
Let's
right
try and
here,
skip to
right
the bit
now.
not fight. And that. The real meteorite coming.
Attention, a local impact is imminent. Clear the marked zone, step on it.
Either way, I'm gonna jump right through.
Let's try to
Well, I
finish the
think I
ugly
might have just started that right at the beginning of an ambush.
Bug Trap 2.0. Players, not ready yet. Born ready.
Well, at least now you can see where the weak point on the twins is. It's their ass, as usual. It's just not as It's just not as weak of a weak point. I think it's only a 2-time multiplier. I think the other two actually have a 3-time multiplier on their weak points. So, you know what you can do with information. And I wouldn't say taking unbreaking on Burner has necessarily helped us here.
Sticky grenade! Reloading! I smell bacon. Platform! Reloading! Players are recharging!
I need to make the heal again. Get a resupply. Sometimes you just feel against this I wouldn't say mode, I'd say a lack of mode, but for some reason you just can't do anything properly in the game. I don't know if anyone else has this. It usually happens after I go down though. And I'm like, oh, it feels like this is going nowhere, you know? Fine.
Getting supplies!
Because the thing is, I know I have the skill to turn this around, but I just feel like I won't.
It burns! It burns! Ooh. Be gone! Finally! Ooh. Reloading! Marvelous! Dreadnought lacerator down! Reloading!
Given that I didn't actually kill them at the same time, not the shortest window in which I have killed them both. With it not being like absolutely simultaneous. That's pretty cool. Hey, what we're gonna do? We're gonna crack open a meteorite. Whoa! Hey fellas.
I'm gonna kill you all! Lock and loaded.
Weird to me that when you don't have a full lock worth of magazine,
Hammer connected.
that using up all the locks you have doesn't count as a full lock. You know?
Really much better.
Only 6 bullets left in the like, for example, if you only have 1 bullet left in the mag, it should still count as a full lock, in my opinion.
All hammers read green. You can start them up when ready.
Just need to hit the button on both pods to get cracking.
So, Something you might notice is that I don't always place proximity mines preemptively. I just place it when I see a big, well, somewhat preemptively. When I see like a big stream of enemies coming, then I know where the proximity mine should be. You know, but you can't always just predict routes, and I think it's better to not have to pick them up. You know, better to make sure they're in a place where they're going to get some use. In my not so humble opinion.
Pow! I got one of the annoying back here. Hot, hot, hot. Rock cracker is hammering away.
Trackers online. Load up. We're bound to have incoming.
Oh dear.
I got the frontal fly.
That wasn't bad. That's how you should handle those. Right, but in terms of Mactera's form, I could lead them if I wanted to use proximity mines against the Macteras. I could use the pillar and lead them past it.
Sticky boo!
I feel like pillar wasn't a bad idea in general.
Come and get me, you big fucking fuck! I was born ready.
I think that'll do it.
Ow!
Rockpox meteor has been cracked. Remember to deposit the samples you find inside.
Molly! Taste the pickaxe! Don't got room for more.
Jesus Christ.
One down!
They don't stop. What the hell?
Where is that damn mule? Can't carry anymore. Lock and load it. Time to deposit.
Right. Detect a horde behind. They're currently out of view. Hi guys. Ooh,
Boom, baby!
that was pretty close to being perfect.
Born ready.
Fairly succinct
Help me mind
arena. Eh.
Try drop down! Gotta wait for the recharge.
Pardon me.
Platform!
If this is a normal dreadnought, I'm gonna do something fun.
Sentry done! Go get him,
Although
boy!
I wouldn't assume that it's gonna be a normal dreadnought.
Well done. Secondary objective completed.
I think that's the only thing I miss about that, is that you could know that it was going to be a normal dreadnought and you could set up certain traps for it. It would just work against a normal dreadnought. And the main one is just proximity mines. but you can still do it. It works against the shield and up to a certain point. You just can't. What the strategy used to be was, or you know, the cheese strategy.
Where
You
do all
just
these
spam
minerals go?
proximity mines, using resupplies,
Resupply order.
and
Roger that. Supply
that would
incoming.
kill the dreadnought over time. Anyway, we've got mines. So,
No, sticking it to the box.
but you do this, but with a lot more proximity mines than that.
Resupply arrived. Okay, stop.
But they actually had a beat. That was amazing.
Loaded. Weapon ready.
There you go. You see, as long as that fire effect is on it, it's taking damage because that's the inferno damage at the time. I think it is.
Go crusher. Locked and loaded. I'm taking some of the ammo. Yes. Reloading.
I guess this means that the next dreadnought will either be another set of twins or a hive guard. And I guess I want it to be a hive guard, just to throw us off against as many different things as possible.
Mine it.
Good.
Don't let him flank you. I was born ready. Eat it.
What's going on? Oh, can you still use an execution as smart rifle against swarmers? Yes, you can.
Swallow this.
Hold on. Just throw me off a little bit. Okay. That's what I was waiting for. I just thought, is there going to be more than one max arrow? Or is it just trivial?
Hate to wait for flare charges.
Obviously, it was more than one.
Born ready. Yeah.
Oh. We're back here.
Platform. Molly, come here.
So it's at least two goo bombers on the other side of this.
Bring the pain.
Oh,
Ah, it's
there's another one
hard to
somewhere though. There it is.
Weapon ready. Come here.
Oh, you're the breeder. Completely forgot about that. What the hell?
Need an upgrade.
So, a spitballer, something that Inferno is fantastic against, but also,
Time to dig out the old box of bandages.
there you go. You don't really need anything more than that. Executioner is great
Get
against
this
as
home
well.
safely, will you, Molly? Oh, I hate thorns.
Oh Jesus! How many of you are there?
One sentry gun ready to be built. Reloaded. One platform ready to use. Sentry gun needs assembly. Great crackle. NATO site breeder, and it's spewing out eggs. Ready. I ordered a resupply.
Supply pod launched. Better stand back.
NATO site breeder down. I was born ready.
Pardon me.
I need support. The resupply is here. Reloading. Attack here. Nice, but you gotta keep your eyes peeled. There may be more. Platform. Players recharging horn ready.
We're made up with fabrication.
A few more of these and I'll bleed out. I made a platform. Reloading. Die, creep.
I'm gonna let the turrets handle this one. Oh, except the trijols. Be dangerous.
I got
Kept
the
alive.
tri-jaw. Reloading. Attack.
Because I am pretty obsessive over like ammo management, and I like everything to be kept as equal as possible, including my turret ammo. So I sometimes just let them do things. I end up waiting around for ambushes so that they have things to shoot, which isn't smart, by the way. Really not. No one should be as concerned as I am about ammo. Conservation.
Loot bug down. For Carl.
It's the twins again.
It's the weak point.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to create a supernova.
Don't get too attached now.
Doesn't make sense against the twins, if I'm being honest, but I'm going to do it. Come on, just step forward.
Weapon ready.
Not you, Molly.
No more room. Time for the
Oh. We can put that down to a, what would you call it? Do they call it a human error? Literally? It's like something they can't be accounted for. A dwarf in it. Either way, that was, I think that was, successful enough of a failed mission to be a valid demonstration of something. That's weird. There were no Praetorians in that mission. Or oppressors.
Team me up with a bunch of
Or
green
detonators.
beards like
Detonators is another thing that's quite hard to hit the weak points of. I should point out. Anyway, now it just comes down to picking an appropriate mission to finish on those. And I don't know if I care for any of these. I won't bore you with this. Right, so a little bit cold. This makes things easy because I really need to do the assignment missions. Just a basic morning expedition should get us to encounter certain things. Obviously, there'll be Praetorians and there'll probably be wardens and pressers. Because before this, like in the previous rotation, my assignment mission was Rockpox, had Rockpox infestation, which is pointless. The breach cutter is very good at that. Smart rifle isn't. Would change beyond that. Other things I could do, it's like, I don't know, Weather Presence would be fine. Industrial Sabotage would be fine. I think Executioner is very good against the Caretaker, actually. In fact, no, actually no, because I think, what was the last one? Oh, the last one was the Scout one, wasn't it? I've done Industrial Sabotages in these videos before. I don't like it that much.
aerodynamic. I like it.
So, to Industrial Sabotage. But I have switched to Stun. Breach Cutter. Big change. Really shaky. Pardon me, shaking things up here. So, I've been sort of thinking about what the next sort of build showcases will be. So, for example, next one will be Gunner. Obviously, it's the order that we go in. And it's just a case of like, what am I going to pick? Because actually, I've got quite a few Gunner builds I wouldn't mind showing off. The main one actually involved Mine Layer System on the Hurricane. Only problem with that being the next one is I don't want to do Hurricane twice in a row. And obviously, Gunner, some pretty obvious ones. I could do the Burning Hell build, which is always a lot of fun, and I don't really need to inform people about that, but they might still like to see it. Neurotoxin and Mole is my Neurotoxin build that I like sort of go for. Things like that, possibly. I've actually got quite a few Hurricane builds, probably more than the other weapons, actually. A weird thing. Possibly my the build I use with Big Bertha, actually, that's a good one.
Getting closer to our quota.
Also, I know this is sort of just like wasting time here. I could be skipping this part, but actually, I will. I was going to bring something up to talk about, but don't worry. Ran into an ambush and I realised I should be showing you this.
Not ready. There's recharge. What's this?
We've actually got a Warden vertical.
And loaded.
Like I said, their weak points are quite difficult to hit. That time wasn't too bad. And that's a Praetorian thing. So obviously, they actually turn around quite quickly after being stunned, quicker than they would if you just let them do their attack. But actually, in the context of Executioner, when you have so few locks and you take increased shutter speed, is it increased shutter speed? Shutter speed sensor.
Come here.
If you're quick, you can get a full shot off on its ass before it turns around. So it works. Anyway, that thing that I said I was going to talk about is actually Halo. So if you don't care, just skip forward a few minutes maybe. And it's just about Halo Infinite in general. It seemed like it was really going down the shitter. The big shake-up, the layoffs at Microsoft and 3.3 specifically seemed to hit them pretty hard, only because they were so extensive. Yeah, there's a lot of leaks coming out at the moment, and it's weird. It seems like they're getting a lot of work done over there. Right, there's a lot. It seems like there's plenty of maps, plenty of modes that have been made. It's like vehicles and weapons are starting to come, like new vehicles and weapons are starting to come along. Especially weapons is actually what I assume will be Season 4's weapon, the double-barreled banished shotgun. It's coming along pretty nicely. The Falcon from Halo Reach is going to be Infinite. Seems to be pretty much finished. That'll probably be a Season 4 edition as well, Season 5 latest, And it seems like there's a bunch of modes being made. Like Infection is going to be like based on the banished AI, things like that. But then you got all that, And you see all these cosmetics being leaked. They got a lot of cosmetics made, pretty cool ones too, coming up for new armor cores and things like that. But then the maps is where it's at. It seems like they've been making a lot of maps, and it's a ridiculous output. You've seen things like what will probably be Season 4's maps, which is Crystal Caves and Engine, which will probably be Season 4's launch maps. And they look really, some of the most beautifully designed maps that FIFA have ever done. And they look genuinely unique in terms of gameplay. There was also another one which is like this desert map, it almost Battlefield-esque. And that was pretty cool as well. That might be Season 4 too. Either way, it seems like there's a lot happening for Halo Infinite at the moment, which is really weird considering how extensive it felt like the shake-ups were going to be, especially with reports about them switching engines, which apparently isn't for Infinite. It might be for future games, and it's at least for something that they're using Unreal. But apparently they weren't switching to Unreal for Infinite. Infinite's can stay on the outdated engine. Not that I think Unreal suits Halo. I don't think Unreal Engine does suit Halo, that's the thing. Anyway, I also just briefly had a look at the Reddit, as I do. It's not a very nice place to be sometimes. But either way, there was someone sort of just talking about what people would like to see in Season 4, and he had a bunch of suggestions, and I assume that they were all separate, because he asked for like female dwarves, new mission types and biomes and things like that, and I assume, okay, probably, if he's smart, then he's not like expecting it's all in the same update, or he's not suggesting it's all one update, it's just different routes they can go. Oh! That's what you get for talking. Promise you I won't fail this mission though. It was interesting because it's like some things just like I don't mean to burst your bubble, buddy, but I kind of have to. It feels like it's my duty almost. Obviously, we're not going to get female dwarfs for a lot of reasons. And he also suggested a water biome, which obviously won't happen. But yeah, in general, it's fine. It's cool to bring up things that you might want to see. I guess it's just hard for me to sort of be that imaginative when I'm very, very, I guess, acutely, not acute, I'm not acutely attentive to, but I'm just very aware in a way that is almost detrimental to their like Ghost Ship's limitations on a technical level and on a resource level in terms of how quickly it can output content, which equals how like successfully they can deliver on high concept content. So I sort of just have to draw back any suggestions I might have. But I respect it's very fun to brainstorm, and I can brainstorm, but just not as sort of freely as a lot of people. It did get me thinking about a mission type that I'd like to see. And a lot of people just like the idea of very pure combat focused, sort of a survival or, endless mode even. But I like the idea, like, of a mission type that does focus on pretty much outright survival, but it actually results from not necessarily a boss fight. I have this idea that there'll be this sort of crystal, it's like electric crystal, that you would uncover, and that'd be the first stage of the mission. But when you do, it actually end up like a massive EMP like shockwave, right? That just disables your communications, and it's just like you just have to survive until communications can get back online. Something like that. It would be like actually, it wouldn't be a boss fight, it would be something that you could use like rock crackers to break open. It'd be a very chill first half of the mission, and the second half would be pure like carnage. And I'd like it to be done in a way where it is actually a fairly simple mission type as well. Okay. What's that then? Real meteor? Fake meteor. Babies. Babbas. Silly little babbas. Fake baby meteors. That's weird.
Born ready.
Anyway, I think he'll die now.
Come here. I need support.
Port fire here. That's the way through. But what's that then? What does this represent? Yeah, if anyone watched the stream yesterday, which you shouldn't because I had some pretty significant frame rate issues towards the beginning of that stream. I spent a lot of time fussing about trying to fix.
Incoming swarm.
Wait for flare recharge.
But
Try, John.
to Tyler, what I was sort of going to be doing in the Deep Rock over the next sort of week, in response to the responses to our tier list. Actually, the video where we actually make the final tier list isn't out yet. That'll come out on Sunday, but Saturday. But the main response was towards the Smart Rifle and the M1000, and it's starting to make me feel like I just don't have the right experience with the M1000. So I'm going to correct that as soon as I can. Spend a few days just using it from the ground up, seeing what I can do.
I got the shell back.
Is that an oppressor? It is an oppressor, that's good.
My fleet. Born ready. Be gone. Flares ain't ready. No more aggression.
See, that wasn't so hard.
Getting supplies.
The stream of incoming enemies is practically eradicated, and you're still alive. Well done.
Locked and loaded. Make every bullet count. Reloading.
Anyway, that's over. Bit of blur. Oh, hear that? Betsy. A grand target. Now, Betsy's interesting actually because Betsy can't
Over here. Weapons
seemingly be
ready.
set on fire, but I know that you've been using a temp shock build and driller.
Needs assembling.
And I've shot Betsy with the flamethrower, and then shot with the wave cooker, and it's temp shocked her, which means that even if she's not taking damage from the fire, the game might still think that she's on fire, therefore we get a damage bonus. Either way, I think Betsy is a 3 times weak point anyway, the charge suckers, so Executioner will do numbers on her anyway, or even just a normal weak point. So
Platform up.
hopefully that'll be a good demonstration and not a way for me to fuck up and fail.
Bosco. Mine it.
Pardon me.
Donkey. Come here. Platform free. Platform. Sticky boom.
You're going the wrong way.
Born ready. Reloading. free from the oppressor. If only this bloody bucket was bigger, a lot bigger. Help me with the minerals here. Marley! Flares ain't ready!
Anyway, back to the Halo thing. Obviously not very relevant, but my overall point was just it. You look at the leaks, they're getting a lot of work done, yet it still feels like nothing is happening in the game. Which is really weird.
I called for the mule.
And I know it's because they chose to delay Season 3 so they could get a lot of work done in advance and have shorter seasons, but how long it's going to last? Also, Prospector.
Sentry armed.
Prospectors are pretty cool. I haven't seen a router in a while. I've actually been seeing... I've been seeing Prospectors and, good lord. Some red trigger back here. I've been seeing Prospectors and, data deposits. Not a lot, but I've been seeing them. I really haven't been seeing communications routers. I've seen maybe 2, 3 at most since Season 3 started. And I really like communications routers. So, and also, they were ripe for being turned into machine events. A machine event, that one was the communications router, and they didn't do that.
Deep Rock seriously need to invest in some better equipment.
But whatever.
Incoming! Smoke him if you got him.
Die, you double-jointed freaks! Don't get too attached now! Reloading! Flares! Recharging! I hate nature! Locked and loaded!
Wave is almost over.
Weapon ready! Reloading! I made a platform. I spy with my little sentry gun ready to be built. Sentry armed. I got it. Ha! Who's gonna protect you now, we cruddy? Come and get some.
What the?
We
Bitch!
gotta locate and destroy the food nexus, or we will have glyphid spawns on our tail forever. Sticky grenade!
Let's just do throw.
I was born ready.
That shouldn't be possible. I shouldn't be that shit, to be honest. Maybe that's more accurate.
Saved by a machine, how humiliating. Much better. Damn flares could need an upgrade. Ammo! Locked and loaded.
Ah!
I was born ready.
Oh, what the fuck?
At least we don't have to haul all these minerals around ourselves. Sentry gun.
Well, that
needs
didn't
assembling.
go great.
Armed.
I'm not doing very well today, am I? I did multiple missions yesterday with this build. Didn't go down once. It's the pressure it's getting to me. Obviously.
That hit the spot. Where is that damn tin can?
No!
Your history. Help me mine this. Resupply ordered.
Nitro has been withdrawn and supply pod is inbound.
Reloading. Time to restock. Let's clear them out.
Go up, prospector.
Not ready. There's recharging. Platform.
It's me being unsmart because I want my turret to use more ammo because of my
I caught the
resupply.
volley.
Unsmart.
Reloading. Booyah!
Hello, son. What the fuck? Yeah, thanks, Betsy.
Annoying little buggers.
What the hell?
We've got no ammo left. Reloading.
Contact. A swarm of glyphic grunts
Oh.
is heading your way. They're almost on you. Get ready.
Okay. Okay. This is pretty bad.
No, the flares are recharging. Redder thrown down.
The glyphic grunts are here. Let's show them our special handshake.
No. God. I'm dying.
Reloading. Ah! Oh, I needed that. Platform's nice.
This is one of those moments.
You scrap heap pile of crap. Stick around.
I did that.
Reloading. Time is up, Drake. There's charging. Born ready. Reloading.
Thanks. Alright.
Buzz off, Shredder.
The wave is significantly diminished. Well done, team.
Reloading. Booyah!
Yeah, the thing. Oh yeah, Patrol Bot's another thing that Execution is very powerful against, but they're very hard to hit the weak points of.
Go lie down forever.
Woo! Nice.
Weapon ready. Patrol bot down and hackable. Reloading.
Ooh.
Ugh. Let me at whoever put this thing together. Ah,
Secondary objective completed.
Patrol
Now
ammo.
finish the
Grabbing
job.
ammo. Move your tin ass over here and hurry, please. Can't move. It tingles weirdly with
Data still secured.
Mm-hmm.
This will look good on your performance review.
Ooh. Oh, I see.
For Carl.
A cow. Oh, fuck. Shit. Look up here. Sorry, I don't actually know if my dwarf voice is any good. Because just now, I don't think that was good. Honestly, recently, it hasn't been. And there have been times where I thought, in my head, that sounds exactly like a dwarf, but obviously, what you really sound like isn't what you think you sound like usually, so probably not sensible to base it off of that.
Wally is on the way.
No 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 no.
Clip and Wharton down. Molly, come here. Whoopsie doopsie.
Whoopsie doopsie. What the fuck is that, bro? Who the fuck says that?
Access provided.
Anyway,
Good work. Objective has been achieved. Hold the drop pod.
and now the question is how much longer do we go on for? Oh, first of all, ambush. Second of all, wee woo wee woo. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. Lovely. Alright, let's see if there's anything else in here. Conclusion, there was nothing. But, as is now something I do, I show you the extraction.
Drop pod arrived. Mule is returning to LZ. Drop pod departing in T-minus 5 minutes.
Oh my goodness, what?
Sticky grenade. Let's get out of this hellhole. Locked and loaded.
I am not safe.
Bloody hell, you're hot to kill.
Oh, okay, Molly hasn't got here yet.
Drop pod departing in T-minus 4 minutes.
Ready to kill some more crates. Yes. Fast walk to the pod pace for the first round. It's getting into all me nooks and crannies. Platform off. Sticky grenade.
I love the sound of proximity mine detonating behind you. Just know that you're just like, yeah, I got you. So you're not getting through this. Beautiful feeling, I think.
Sticky.
The mule is secured. Initiating launch sequence. Deep Rock Galactic thanks you for your good work. Drop pod will leave with or without you.
My boys.
That's
Oh,
one
they're
bonus.
exploding.
Retrieving escape pod.
Oh dear. Ugh. There you go.
What's this?
Well. That was incendiary executioner. At least like actually completed a mission that time.
Job done.
Oh. Oh my. Right, well I'm gonna do that real quick.
Your mission is ready. The pod is prepped.
In fact, I'm not gonna end the recording yet. So I'm just gonna. Alright, might as well do this on the record.
Platforms placed. Sentry off. Reloaded.
Swarm, it's a big one, team.
Don't get too attached. Platform off.
Leave me alone.
Oh, he's dead.
Past your expiration date. Right there. Reloading. Reload it. Loot bug eliminated. Don't die, please. Team Rock seriously need to invest in some better equipment.
Scanners show the wave is thinning out. Take out the rest of them, stat.
Born ready. Clifford Wharton is history. Players, not ready yet. Pow! I was born ready. Weapon ready.
Yeah, but guys, look, I found the Ebonut fields.
It's armed and ready.
Oh.
Where is that damn mule? Come here! Bug trap 2.0. No players ready. See you later! Lock and loaded. I hate everything bullshit.
What the hell? Where's the egg gone? Oh. And look at that meteorite. I don't know if I have enough time to do that. I want to do that other
I made a plan.
double XP that showed up at the Age Outbreak mining
Heads
expedition.
up, team. A meteor is about to impact your area. Clear the
No, that
impact
would have a
zone
good heal.
immediately.
That effect is pretty good. Probably one of the best animations they've done.
Donkey, come here! Inventory is full. Flares recharging. Give me some light. Go
Oh
fetch.
man.
Move your tin ass over here and hurry, please. Could really go for a cold brew right now. That's all you got, just free shit. Come here, you flying tin can.
Egg
Reloading.
collection completed. Well done. Pull the escape pod in when ready.
Oh, actually, wasn't meant to use that.
This one's for Carl. Weapon ready. Clifford Wharton down. If I had a credit for every time I deposit,
Right, this is what we call risky
And
business.
we're cracking. Get ready. The bugs are bound to dislike this.
sticking it to the bugs. I was born ready.
There was nitro in here, I'm sure of it.
No, the flares are recharging.
Damn.
You
I
need
still
those
find that
guns
last Nebo nut.
active to crack the meteor. Keep them safe.
I've got no time at all.
Restart the jammed equipment. We're detecting a jam. Restart the affected parts or you'll be down there all day.
Access provided.
Fuck you.
Reloading. Reloading. Ow! Reloading. Stop them dead.
All rock crackers agree. Let's keep them that way. Alert, the rock crackers are under attack. This is going to take forever if you don't keep all hammers operational. Restart any jam parts ASAP.
No flares ready. Platform up. Weapon ready.
Oh wow, that was impressive.
Clear out one
No,
of those
no, no, no,
banging
no.
on that rock cracker. Hang in there. Supplies are on the
Okay,
way.
there's our last depot nut.
You need to keep all rock crackers running. This is not currently the case. Get on it.
Getting more ammo.
All going according to plan.
Locked and loaded. Pesticide coming up.
Drop pod inbound. Stand clear.
My poor boots. I need the damn minecart on you.
Good job. Now grab and deposit whatever was inside. Play cards all accounted for. Finish the mission, get back home. Drop pod has arrived. The mule has been called back.
Go, go,
Drop
go.
pod departing in T-minus 5 minutes.
Damn it! Oh! Okay,
I made a platform. Go, Crusher! Better hurry.
problem is, it's not just getting in the pod. I need to, deposit that Evo nut now as well.
Feel much better now.
The mule's been successfully retrieved.
What the fuck is that doing there?
Snap it, team. The drop pod won't hang around forever.
These bugs don't stand a chance against us.
Drop pod
Oh my god, I did
departing
just
in
drop down, didn't I?
T-minus 4
Remember now.
minutes.
I was born ready. Platform's nice. Not ready. Flares recharging. Platform! You better hurry.
Secondary objective completed. Fine job. Retrieving
Okay, that's it. Video's over. That was Incendiary Executioner. I hope you enjoyed. We'll be back next week will be a workshop. Next build showcase will be another gunner one. Either minigun or Thunderhead. So if you do enjoy this, please make sure to like, subscribe. If you want to see more build showcases, make sure to, you know, like the bell. Either way, thanks for tuning in, guys. See you next time.